We have now migration for users, and we have a migration for country, and we have a migration for country zone. For business logic, we required a model for our business logic that will fetch our record from our database and it will send to our view. So when we have created our scaffolding, so you see Laravel before scaffolding. So Laravel default source has a user model. So all the authentication and will be done through that user model. So model and migration, you already know that okay, model will be a singular and its table migration will be a plural form of your model. So now we have required we require two model and right now for country and country zone to let's create our model first and we further progress. So we will discuss what the fillables and what are why we create table protected and it's fillable. Okay, PHP artisan make model and model name is country and it will be a singular and the first letter will be capital. So PHP artisan make model country. So you see country model is created and let's create for country zone. PHP artisan make model country zone and okay. So country zone model is now two models have been created. Okay, for country, so this is a model. It's now getting namespace. It's under app, and its namespace is app, and it is using the Eloquent model. So its class is country extends its model base model. It will get all the functionality from its base model. And now let's create our fillable and table. So in our country, so we will require a protected table. We will define our table, which table we this model will use. So it will use countries tables. So when in a singular form of model, so here when we switch to user, you see there is a no protected table is defined because Laravel is smart enough that it knows its table will be users, not user. So by default it will check that its table will be user and not required to define the table which table we are using. So it's a good practice that you have to define you should define your model table database table in your model. So we have defined our model so that this model country will use the countries table in our smart expense database. And now fillable protected means it will be used in this directory, not it cannot be used from other than that directory. Protected fillable, and here we will define our array. So only a single name of the country is the fillable. So why we use fillable? Fillable used to safeguard your column database table column. So other than that, only this table column field name will be used in this model, and it will Laravel guide that mm, mm, field, and it will protect that field. Not other than that field will be created or accessible. So save it, protected fillable name, and if I show you in a table, sorry, database, so in a country, sorry, smart expense and countries and data, we have only a field name. So this fillable will define that this model will only use this field in a country's database. So our fillable is name. Okay. And in the same way, we will define, let me copy and paste. So here it will be, table will be country zones, country underscore zones, and fillable will be code and sorry, code and name, and save it. And we can see in our country zone the fillable field is only a code and name. Okay, so now we have defined our table in our model, that this model country zone model will use the country zone table, and its fillable protected fields are code and name. And in the country model, we have defined our table, that this model will use the countries table, and this protected field will be a name. And we will do the same thing in our user. We will have to define our protective fields, fillable fields, that we have custom field we have used in our login form. So if I go to so these are the fields that we have defined: country, state, country address, and also the other fields in our migration. So we have to set it fillables in. If I go to migration quickly, and if I show you user, so we have a bunch of fields. You can see phone, country, city, address, postal code, and all that. And we have to define in our table, sorry, model, user model, that these fields are fillables. So stay tuned.